Guys, false fire alarms are just like the boy who cried wolf. Remember the boy who cried wolf? It is real. The boy cries and keeps crying, and there's no wolf, and one day there is a wolf, and the boy will get bitten by the wolf because he kept yelling wolf when there wasn't any wolf. When there was a wolf, he got bitten. The same thing goes for pulling the fire alarm. If it's like the 10th time, people will not believe the alarms anymore and will ignore the alarm going off. And that will be real dangerous because if there were an actual fire, people will not take the real alarm very seriously because they didn't believe it was real, and everyone will die because they didn't think that the alarm was real and they didn't evacuate. That is not okay at all. So, this is why you never ever pull fire alarms in public buildings unless there is a real fire, or if you have permission to do it by your principal during a drill, or if you have permission to do it by the company during a test of the alarm system, or if you have your own fire alarm system at home that is in a controlled legal environment where the fire department doesn't come. If it is not for those scenarios, never ever pull the fire alarm. If you pull the fire alarm for fun, you are going to get in so much trouble and you are going to get arrested because it is not a toy. It is a device that saves people's lives. So therefore, it should never be messed around with, and it's only meant to be used in emergencies. If you pull the fire alarm at school, you are going to actually get expelled from school. So don't do that. If you pull the fire alarm in my school, the first time you do it, you're going to get an in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension the first time you do it. And the second time you do it, you are going to have to face expulsion. And the fire department will charge a fine if it's a false alarm. And you are going to potentially get arrested if you pull the fire alarm in my school. So, don't ever pull the fire alarm at school unless there is a fire in the school, or if you have permission to by your principal to do it during the drills, or if you have permission by the company to test your school's fire alarm system when no students are there. But other than that, never ever pull the fire alarm at school. This is very serious. I remember when I was in elementary school, there were kids that would do something like this. And let me tell you, it was not funny at all. They probably learned their lesson about now. I sure hope they did. Because if you pull the fire alarm in high school, you are going to get arrested. because high school students are old enough to know that you should not be doing that. In elementary school, the reason why kids in elementary school would pull the alarm for fun is because they are too young to understand the consequences for doing something like this. But once you get up to middle school and high school, you are going to get arrested if you pull a fire alarm at school. These are very serious devices that should never ever be tampered with. It is not funny to pull the red alarm handle on the wall in your school or in any public building for that matter. If you pull that thing for fun, you are going to get arrested. So don't do that. If you see a pull station on the wall, don't ever go up and pull it for fun, or else you are going to get in serious trouble. Also, you don't ever open the pull station. Leave it alone. Also, something else you should never ever do in public is that you don't tamper with fire alarm equipment. Like, you never unscrew the alarm off the wall, you never screw it in more, you never paint the alarm, you never take the plate off the alarm, you never take the strobe off the alarm, you never take the horn off the alarm, you never disable the horn or the strobe on the alarm. You never adjust the volume, the pattern, the candela, or tone on the alarm. You never cut power to the alarm. You never do any of that. Leave the alarm the way it is. You are going to get in big trouble if you pull the fire alarm or if you tamper with it. It is not a smart thing to do. Remember, if you break the alarm, you're going to have to replace it. So don't do anything that will cause the alarm not to work anymore. Definitely never ever smash the fire alarm. If you smash the alarm, you are responsible for replacing it. Remember, if you break it, you have to replace it. If you don't want to go through that consequence, never ever do something that will cause the alarm not to work anymore. This thing needs to work just in case there is a fire. Because this saves your life. Anytime that you ever pull the fire alarm, it has to sound the alarm immediately because you're pulling it if you detect a fire to alert everyone to evacuate. And if the alarm doesn't sound when you pull it when there is a fire, that is very, very bad because that means someone must have done something that caused the alarm to not work anymore. So, this is very, very serious. You do not ever mess with fire alarm equipment. You only pull them if there is a real fire or if you have permission to, And never, ever tamper with fire alarm equipment for any reason. Unless you have your own alarm at home, that is totally fine, but never, ever do that to an alarm in a public building. Never. Bye.